Jessii Vee, and in today's video I am telling you about some very famous brand logos that have extremely sinister backstories. Some of the mascots have some creepy folklore associated with them. Some logos are even considered cursed. So we're gonna get into all that in just a moment. First, I want to let you know that there is a huge Black Friday, Cyber Monday sale happening on our store right now. We have decided to start our sales 1 week early, all the way up until December 2nd. Everything is 25% off all weekend long. The discount will be applied at checkout. And the free item of the week is our Wednesday Addams keychain. This is so cute. She's got the uniform, she's got the braids, she's got the freckles, and these are such good quality little keychains. And so starting now for the next 48 hours, if you get anything on our store, so if you take advantage of our sale even, you will get a free Wednesday Addams keychain with your order while supplies last. And if you by chance like Harry Potter, we have just posted a beautiful Harry Potter snow globe. And we also have some curio jars filled with classic Harry Potter pets. So for example, there's Crookshanks, there's Hedwig, and these are officially licensed Harry Potter products. We have also just launched gummy bear lights. These come in 4 different colors. And it's so cool because it's a lamp that you can put beside your bed, but it's also gummy, like it's actually squishy. And you guys know that I love gummy bears. And another cool thing is we have just launched our magic snowballs. And these are essentially squishies, and when you squeeze it, it turns as cold as a snowball. It is so cool. So here's the snowball. It looks like there's ice inside, and when I start to squeeze it like this, the whole thing is turning ice cold right now. So it actually feels like I just went outside and like brought in a snowball. So yeah, lots of cool stuff that is 25% off now and all weekend. So I have linked everything down below. Okay, so let's get right into today's video. Now, when I was doing research, one of the classic logos that kept coming up was the Monster Energy logo. And I feel like this one goes without saying. There has been rumors for so long that the logo actually means 666, which is a very sinister, not great number. Don't want to be associated with it. I actually have never drank this drink before. I keep it way over there. But that was one of the things that kept popping up. So we're gonna talk about ones that maybe people don't mention as often. The first one is the Apple logo. I was surprised when I first saw the Apple logo on this list because obviously there's nothing creepy about its appearance. But one popular story claims that the bitten apple was inspired by a man named Alan Turing, who was a very famous computer scientist who allegedly unalived himself by biting into a cyanide-laced apple. He had been through many horrific hardships in his life. Most I can't even go into, I don't think, on YouTube, but his co-workers found him dead with a half-eaten apple laying beside him. And Alan Turing's work and tragic end made him a tech icon, so some people believe that Apple honored him in its logo. However, the Apple co-founder Steve Jobs refuted this and said the bite simply prevented the apple from being mistaken for a cherry, but this dark legend still sticks. Many people talk about it. I mean, I had never heard about it until this point, but apparently this is a legend. But if Steve Jobs said no, then I guess maybe it's not true. Next, we have the Captain Morgan logo. Captain Morgan is a popular spiced rum with what looks like a fun, adventurous pirate on the logo, but not many people know that it's an illustration of a real-life man named Sir Henry Morgan, who was known for pillaging and burning down towns in the Caribbean. He was not a good person at all. Reports from survivors who encountered him described extreme violence, including torture, to extract information about hidden wealth. And his most notorious act was the sacking of Panama City in 1671, where he slaughtered everyone. It was described as apocalyptic destruction. That was how bad it was. And some historians and folklore enthusiasts suggest that Morgan's spirit haunts the Caribbean, still seeking treasure or tormenting those who cross his path. So it's just crazy how the brands of this rum were just like, yeah, let's put his photo on there. And knowing all of his backstory, I actually found another sort of backstory about Bacardi rum. Not as bad, but there was a history about why they put the bat on their logo, and it was because in the house they were living in, they had hundreds of bats living in their attic, basically tormenting them. And so they were like, oh, like maybe we should make our rum bottle a bat, and maybe that will bring us good luck. Maybe the bats in our attic will bring us fortune. Next, we have the Colonel Sanders curse, and this is a fascinating urban legend that originates from Japan, and it's grown into one of the most bizarre and eerie stories associated with a global food brand. It all starts with the Hanshin Tigers, who are a professional baseball team in Japan, and in 1985, the Tigers had an incredible season, culminating in their first ever Japan Series championship. The victory was monumental for this team, and so they decided to have this huge celebration with their fans. They began this tradition of calling out names of players on the team, and for each name they call, a fan in the audience who resembled that team member had to jump into the canal. However, when the name of Randy Bass was called, no one in the crowd resembled him. So desperate to complete the tradition, the fans seized a statue of Colonel Sanders from a nearby KFC restaurant, declaring it a stand-in for Bass, and tossed it into the canal. And almost immediately after this statue was thrown into the canal, the Hanshin Tigers fell into this very long streak of misfortune. They weren't winning any games, any championships, and they became the least successful team in the league. So fans and media began to blame the curse of the Colonel, claiming that the Tigers' misfortunes were a direct result of disrespecting the Colonel by throwing his statue into the canal. And over the years, divers made multiple attempts to retrieve the Colonel Sanders statue from the canal. They believed that if they were able to recover it, they would have their fortune returned. However, for a long time they weren't able to. They were only able to find very small pieces of the statue, like tiny bits of finger, tiny parts of its hands, small parts of its torso. In 2009, after nearly 25 years, the statue of the Colonel Sanders was finally found in the canal. It was pulled out in pieces, heavily damaged and weathered by years underwater, but the statue was eventually restored and returned to a KFC location in Osaka. Now, I didn't read anything about their luck returning, but they are very glad they were able to retrieve this statue, and I just thought this was so weird, so anytime I see the KFC logo, I'm going to think about this. Then we have one about the Sun-Maid girl. The Sun-Maid girl was modeled after Lorraine Colette Peterson, who was a young woman from Fresno, California. In 1915, Lorraine was discovered drying her hair in the sun, and her image of natural beauty and innocence inspired the Sun-Maid Raisins marketing team to make her the face of the brand. But years later, she reportedly became disillusioned with this logo. She no longer wanted to be associated with the brand because she was unhappy about how her likeness was being used. She kind of felt like it overshadowed her own identity. This is all alleged. But the brand refused to remove her face from their packaging, and according to folklore, after she died, she began to haunt them. Workers at facilities tied to Sun-Maid have reported strange occurrences, including disembodied voices of a woman calling out or humming. Objects have moved on their own, such as promotional baskets or posters, and there were cold spots in rooms where Lorraine's photos or likeness were prominently displayed. So super creepy. Have no idea how true this actually is, but I was very intrigued. And what's weird is that when I was a kid, I really loved raisins, particularly this brand, but when I turned like, I don't know, like 8 years old, raisins became revolting to me, and now I can't stand them. I hate how they are hidden in cookies and you think they're chocolate chips, but they're raisins. And lastly, we have the laughing cow logo. And this is the red laughing cow on the cheese packages that we all know. What's surprising is that the mascot was created in the aftermath of World War I. It was inspired by a symbol used on supply trucks during the war known as the Wackery. This name was a pun on the Valkyries of Norse mythology, which were supernatural warrior women who decided the fate of soldiers in battle. And the emblem featured a laughing laughing cow intended to mock the German forces. And the fact that the laughing cow originated as a wartime emblem gives it like a darker historical context and makes you think of it differently, because the happiness of the cow contrasts very sharply with the suffering and destruction associated with World War I. So I thought that was actually a little bit disturbing. Anyways though guys, if you want me to do a part 2 of logos with strange backstories, give this video a thumbs up and let me know. Maybe comment a logo down below that you want me to do some research on. And yeah, don't forget, if you want to take advantage of our Black Friday, Cyber Monday sales all weekend long, 25% off everything. You will also get a free Wednesday Adam keychain with purchases while supplies last. Everything is linked down below. I hope you have an awesome rest of your day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!